growth. Growth means is ito na yung gaining more knowledge and understanding, and hindi lang ito about sa pagiging older natin or pagiging mas tumatanda na yung isang tao. But also, ito yung nagiging more becoming mature and mature and as we learn new things. So for example is pag nag-study tayo is hindi lang tayo nakaka-gain ng new experiences but also knowledge. And yung way ng ating pag-iisip is become more mature and nag-improve din. And development. Development is ito na yung organized and in continuous change na nangyayari sa isang tao because of learning, experience, and maturation. It means na as we grow, is hindi lang tayo nagkakakuha ng knowledge but also yung pagiging way ng ating pag-iisip and yung pag-respond sa isang situation. So according kani Egan 1994, ang development is nangyayari ito kapag itong part ng learning, experience, and maturation is nag-work sila together. So, factors influencing intellectual development. Number 1 is maturation. So, maturation is dito na yung nare-refer na yung natural biological growth ng isang tao. Ito yung nangyayari ito when nag-change ito ng genetics and environments. So, for example, is as a child's brains mature, is mas naiintindihan nila yung more difficult lesson. Ito yung natural process na nagpe-prepare na yung person sa kanyang learning. So, number 2 is experience. Itong experience naman is what we go through in life is what we see, hear, and do. Ito yung experience na to is tinutulungan nito tayo na mag-grow na intellectually because they expose us to new ideas and situation. So, number 3 is learning. So, learning is the process of gaining knowledge, skills of course, attitudes, and values from our experience. Ito, nangyayari ito when we interact with our environment and yung mga tao na nakapaligid sa atin. So, number 1 is infancy, sensory motor stage or practical intelligence, 0 to 1 year. So, during infancy, ang mga baby is they start to develop their senses and motor skills. It means na dito na nagbibigin yung pag-use ng kanilang mga mata, ears, hands, and other parts ng kanilang body na para mag-explore around them. So, in this stage, ang learning happens through senses and movement, not yet through words or thinking. Yung mga baby is they start to understand simple cause and effect, like when they cry, someone comes to comfort them. So, number 2 is toddler. So, dito naman sa toddler is 1 to 3 years old. So, when a child become a toddler, they enter the preparational stage. So, which means their thinking is still very simple and based mostly on what they see and what they experience. They can already classify things. So, for example is alam nila kung ano yung mga laruan nila and kung ano yung hindi nila laruan kung nakikita nila yon sa kanilang harapan. Dito napapakita dito yung pagiging already perform nila sa basic mental operation or simple thinking process. So, at this stage is meron ditong tatlo, which is yung language development. Dito, yung mga toddler is they begins to start to talk and use words to express kung ano yung gusto nila. They can also form simple or concrete ideas like recognizing animals, colors, or familiar people. But abstract concepts like honesty or values are still hard for them to understand. Kasi nga, yung utak nila is not yet fully developed ng level na ganyan na pag-iisip. So, ang characteristic of toddlers at the preparational stage is letter A is egocentrism. So, itong egocentrism is yung mga bata is self-centered. So, they see the world only from their own point of view and don't easily understand others' feelings or opinion. So, number two or letter B is use symbols to represent objects. They can use pictures or words to stand for things. So, example nito is kapag nagdo-draw sila ng circle and it says mommy kasi yun yung parang nare-remind nila sa kanilang magulang. So letter C is draw conclusion from what they see. So ito, naniniwala sila itong mga toddler na to, what is visible or obvious. So for example, if they see smoke, they think that there must be a fire or parang may nasusunog kapag may nakikita silang parang sunog o yung kwango ng sigarilyo, yun. So letter D, headstrong and negativistic. So their favorite word is no. They want to show independence and make their own choice. So letter E is active, mobile, and curious. Ito, they move around a lot, explore everything, and love to ask question. Itong mga toddler kasi, is mahilig sila magtanong ng magtanong sa tao kahit yung tao na yun is pagod na, is mga bata talaga is mahilig talaga sila magtanong. So letter F is rigid, repetitive, ritualistic, and stereotype. So they like routines, the way things done in the same way every day, like yung pagkain nila or the way sila matulog. So letter G is poor sense of times. Itong poor sense of times is they don't yet understand the concepts of time when you say later or tomorrow. Hindi nila kasi maintindihan pag sinabi mo doon sa isang bata na mamaya na, kasi ang mga bata ang gusto nila kung ano yung sinabi mo is yun na yung gusto nilang gawin mo, like right now nila, parang ganon.
Okay, good morning ma'am. My name is Christine Lim Katuri. So the next one is prescholar perceptual intuitive thought. So ito naman yung mga nasa 3 to 7 years old. So at this age, curious sila sa mga bagay or nakikita nila, like natututo pa lang silang mag-accumulate ng isang bagay. Like kung ano yung nakikita nila, yun yung mas paniniwalaan nila or gagawin nila. So next one is centration. So centration naman, ito yung nakafocus lang sila sa ginagawa nila, like parang wala silang pake sa mga paligid nila. Like for example, ito yung bata na kapag binigyan mo, like parang pinahiram mo ng cellphone, nakafocus lang siya sa cellphone, wala siyang pake sa iba. Like nowadays kasi ang mga bata, ang kahiligan is pag cellphone, like wala silang pake sa mga ginagawa ng iba. So next one is non-transformation. So ang non-transformation is ito naman yung kung ano yung nakikita ng bata, ito yung like parang ito yung totoo para sa kanya. Then next one is irreversibility. Ang irreversibility naman is nahihirapan pa yung bata mag-accumulate ng isang bagay. Like parang hindi niya pa alam kung paano mag-accumulate ng isang bagay. So, next one is reasoning. So, ang reasoning naman is, ito naman yung pag-solve based on what they see and kung ano yung naririnig nila. So, next one is school age concrete operation stage. Ito naman yung mga nasa 7 to 12 years old. So, at this age, natututo na silang mag-identify ng tama at mali, and based on what they see, marunong na rin silang mag-solve ng mga basic problem. Like for example, may isang bata, nakita niya yung floor na basa. So yung floor na basa, pupunasan niya yun para walang madulas. So, at that time, at that moment, alam na ng bata sa sarili niya na, okay, pupunasan ko to kasi para walang madulas. And also, aware na din sila kung ano yung totoo at hindi. Kapag once na nagsinungaling ka sa kanila, parang, okay, hindi totoo itong sinasabi niya. Yun yung nasa isip ng bata. So, at that time, alam na nila kung ano yung totoo at hindi. So, next one is pubescence or adolescence formal operational thoughts. So, ito na mga bata na 12 to 20 years old. So, at this age, ito na yung mga teenager na marunong nang mag-plan and mag-solve ng mga problem nila. Marunong na din silang mag-identify ng kung ano yung mas nakakabuti at hindi nakakabuti para sa kanila. And also, matured na rin silang mag-isip. So, next one is young adulthood. So, at this age naman, ito na yung mga nasa 20 to 40 years old. So, at this age, dito na magbabago lahat. Like, dito na tayo nagiging independent. Dito na tayo nakafocus na tayo sa mga career, family, and magiging future natin. So, at this age naman, kapag may mga anak na or may mga family na, dapat ipakita mo sa anak mo na ipakita mo sa kanya na like ituturo mo sa kanya kung ano yung tama pati mali para pag lumaki siya, alam niya kung paano mag-identify ng tama at mali. Like for example, pag pinakita mo sa kanya na masama ang ugali mo. So, yung bata mag-iisip ng okay, kailangan ko rin maging masama ang ugali kasi ganun man din ang magulang ko. So, which is not good for the child kasi kung ano yung kinalakihan ng bata, maa-adapt yun ng bata. So, kailangan hanggat bata pa, kailangan turuan ng mabuti.
So, good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Aljamara M. Rampatan. So, today I'm going to discuss about middle adulthood, 40 to 60 years old. This stage where individuals experience greater stability and maturity in many areas of life. At this stage, people usually develop cooperative relationships, especially within their families, workplace, and communities. They focus on creating meaningful concentration and maintaining harmony with others. So, their key characteristics as letter A pursues life goals and interests. Individuals in middle adulthood often reflect on what they want to achieve in life. They become more focused on personal goals, long-term plans, and achieve activities that gives them purpose. Next is letter B, family and career centered. This stage is strongly associated with responsibility. Many adults concentrate on raising their families, supporting loved ones, and advising or stabilizing their careers. Their decisions are usually guided by the well-being of their family household. Next is letter C, possesses self-control, stability, and independence. Through life experiences, middle adults develop emotional maturity. They handle challenges with more patience, think rationally, and show independence in their decision making. Their lifestyle usually more stable compared to other adulthood or early adulthood. So we have begun the stages of development and their characteristics. Piganda's stages is how children think, learn, and understand the world as they grow. So we have 5 stages. So number 1 is sensory motor stage, 0 to 1 year old. In this stage, infants learn through their senses and physical actions. They explore by touching, looking, and moving. So here's the characteristics. Goal-directed behavior. Babies begin to do actions intentionally, such as reaching for toys or etc. And that possible that he or she can reach. Egocentric thinking. They cannot see things from another person perspective yet. Next, number 2 is pre-operational stage, 1 to 3 years old. Children start to use language and symbols to represent objects. Their imagination become active. So here's the characteristics. Object performance. They understand that things continue to exist even when out of sight. Rapid language growth. They learn many new words through sometimes used incorrectly or overgeneralization. Symbolic thoughts, using objects to represent something else. Example, a block as a car. Dominated by perception. What they see is what they believe, even if it's inaccurate. Next is perceptual or intuitive thoughts at stage 3 to 7 years old. Children become more curious and imaginative but still lack logical reasoning. So here's the characteristics. Headstrong and negativistic. They may insist on doing things their way. Active, mobile, curious, always exploring and asking questions. Ritualistic and stereotype behavior, like routines and family patterns. Poor sense of time, difficult understanding life intervals, role fantasy, pretend play in common. Accumulation, adjusting old ideas to fit new information. Egocentrism, still focus on their own point of view. Number 4, concentrate operational stage 7 to 12 years old. At this stage, children begin to think logically but only with real, concentrate information. Here's the characteristics. Logical thinking with concentrate materials. They can solve problems if objects are present. Classify and orders object. Sorting, grouping, and arranging become easier. Less egocentric. They can understand others' perspectives. More mature thinking. Decision and thoughts become more sensible. And the last one is formal operational stage 12 to 18 years old. Teenagers develop the ability to think deeply and logically about abstract ideas. So here's the characteristics. Solves abstract and hypothetical problems. They can think about what-if situation. Think in combination. Can consider multiple factors at the same time. Can acquire and apply knowledge. They understand complex topics and connect ideas. Good activity is talk time. Teens learn effectively thoughts, decisions, and expressing opinions. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Riman Muhammad Rakib Altucci and I will be continue discussing our topic, which is the categories of learner according to individual differences. The first one here is the intelligence. Is shaped by both genetics from mother and father and also the environment. It is usually measured through intelligence or aptitude test, so students with high aptitude learn faster while others may need time to learn. And dahil dito yung mga teachers is nag-a-adjust ng teaching styles para maka-catch up yung ibang students. So the first one here is flexible time requirements. Some students need more time to understand lessons than the others. Giving flexible time helps each learner fully understand the subject without the pressure. And the second one here is increased instructional support. So, teacher can give extra help to slow learners through different methods. The first one is adjusting teaching style. The teachers changes the way they teach to match the needs of the students without changing the lesson goals. The second one is using fast learners to help others. So fast learners can guide others or the slow learners through peer tutoring or group activities. The third one is clarifying and expanding the lesson. So teachers explain the topic more clearly and break assignments into a smaller, easier part to help the students learn new materials better. So the third one here is a strategy instruction. So high-achieving students usually use strategies that help them learn more effectively. Teachers can teach these strategies to all learners. The first one here is the peer tutoring. So students can understand the lesson well, can help others because they have the skills and the knowledge to explain it. And the second one is cooperating learning. When students work together, both the tutor and the learner benefits. Even the tutor learns more by teaching. So the second one in categories of learners according to the individual differences is the multiple intelligence. So Howard Gardner introduced this theory, saying intelligence is not just about IQ. There are 8 types of intelligence and each person may be strong in different areas. So the first intelligence is itong verbal linguistic or the word smart. Itong mga tao na to or students na ito is good at reading, writing, speaking, and remembering words. So the second one here is the logical, mathematical, or number and reasoning smart. Itong mga students na ito is good at solving problems using logic, numbers, and patterns. And the third one here is the spatial or picture smart. They are good at visualizing things, drawing, designing, and understanding direction. The next one is the bodily kinesthetic or body smart. They are good at movements, dance, sports, and playing instruments. Also, we have here the interpersonal or people smart. They are good at talking to others, leading groups, and understanding people. And also, we have the intrapersonal or self-smart. They are good at understanding oneself, emotions, and deep thinking. And the last one here is the naturalistic or nature smart. They are good at understanding nature, plants, animals, and the environment.
So, epistemology. So, pag sinabi nating epistemology, meaning ito yung study of the knowledge. This is what is knowledge. So, ang epistemology is meron siyang 3 types. The different types of the knowledge. First is the conceptual knowledge. So, yung conceptual knowledge is when we understand ideas and abstract concept. Number 2 is the perceptual knowledge. So, the perceptual knowledge this is when we learn through our senses. Example is seeing a beautiful sunset or tasting a beautiful, delicious meal. Number 3 is intuitive knowledge. So, intuitive knowledge this is when we have a gut feeling or instinct about something without necessarily being able to explain why. So, axiology is what is right and what is wrong. Axiology is about understanding values and ethics. So, it's concerned with what's right and what's wrong. Good or bad. So, this include things like morality, ethics, and values. So, let's proceed to aesthetics. So, when we say aesthetics is the beauty and the ugliness. It's about understanding beauty and its taste. So, aesthetics, It's concerned with what's beautiful, ugly, or somewhere in between. So other types of intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence this is about understanding the spiritual or mystical aspect of life. Number 2 is existential intelligence. Sa existential intelligence naman this is about asking big questions about life, death, and the meaning of it all. In moral intelligence naman this is about understanding right from wrong, making good choices. And emotional intelligence naman this is about understanding and managing our own emotions as well as understanding and influencing the emotions of others. So it's a key part of being happy and successful person. Number 4 is the socio-economic status. So, pag sinabi nating socio-economic status, ito na yung describe how a family is doing in a society based on 3 main things. Number 1 is the income. Ang income naman, ito yung how much money the family earns. So, sa occupation, kasali din yun sa 3 main things. The type of the jobs the family members have. So, pang tatlong 3 main things is the education. Sa education naman is the level of schooling the family members have complete. Also, ang socio-economic status shows whether a family has more or fewer resources, opportunities, and advantages compared to others. So, family with higher socio-economic status usually have higher paying jobs, more education, and more access to good housing, healthcare, and schools. So, families with lower socioeconomic status may have fewer resources and opportunities.
So good morning, Ma'am. I'm Sit Amela Salazar Mahadia, and this is my part. Number 5 is culture. Culture means the belief, costume, attitude, and behavior shared by a group of people. It affects student on how they think, learn, and act in school. So first is student attitude and values. Culture shapes how student view education. So sa ibang school po is yung mga teacher is tinuturuan po nila yung mga estudyante nila on how to respect and paano po i-avoid po yung mga question. While sa other naman po is mas ini-encourage po nila yung student na mag-speak up and i-share po nila yung opinion nila. Next one is classroom organization. So, teacher may organize their classroom differently based on culture expectation. So, sa ibang school po, or ibang teacher po, is mas gusto nila yung individual po para po makapag-focus sila. But then, sa ibang teacher naman, mas gusto po nila or mas in-encourage po nila yung group activity po para po makapromote ng teamwork po. Then, the last one is school communication. Culture influences how people communicate. So, sa ibang teacher po or like sa ibang pananaw po ng teacher, pag po tinignan po ng estudyante yung teacher po directly sa eyes po is parang nag-show po yun ng confident. But then sa ibang teacher po, for them, pag tinignan po ng estudyante yung teacher po directly sa eyes po is parang disrespectful po yun for them. So, yes po, magkakaiba din po. Then, number 6 is gender differences. Gender differences refer to how boys and girls are treated or expected to behave differently in school. First is different treatment of boys and girls. Sometimes teacher or parents have different expectations for each gender. For example po, is sa boys po, mas ini-encourage po yan ng parents and teacher po na sumali sila sa mga sport. While sa girls naman is mas ini-encourage sila sa mga art, ganyan yung mga girly things. And then next is stereotyping of boys and girls. A stereotype is a belief that all members of group are the same. Like for example, pag may sa isang classroom matalino na boys, sinasabi nila lahat ng boys matalino, or like pag may girls naman na like emotional, well usually naman. But then sinasabi nila all girls are emotional, which is po that kind of stereotypes can affect student confidence and performance. Number 7 is at-risk student. At-risk student. At-risk student are those who may have problems that make it hard for them to finish school or do well in class. For example naman po, ito naman po yung mga poor people po na hindi nila ma-provide yung pangangailangan ng estudyante or yung mga school supplies po ng estudyante. Or second is, yun naman po yung mga estudyante na madalas nag-skip sa klase nila dahil po sa family broken or family problem po. The third one is, yan naman po yung estudyante na nag-struggle sa klase, tapos yan po yung mga nahirapan mag-catch up, then kulang din po sila ng support ng parents and teacher po. Like, hindi po masyado silang napapansin. So, characteristic at-risk student. At-risk student are those who face difficulties that can affect their learners and may cause them to fail or drop out of school. These problems can come from their background and educational experiences. So, ito nga yung sabi ko, yung background factor nila. There are personal or family problem that makes it harder for student to succeed in school. Like po yung mga losses or low socio-economic status po, yung mga galing po sa mga mahirap na pamilya, na like po yung sabi ko na hindi nila kayang ibigay yung pangangailangan ng estudyante. Tapos po yung mga minority or English as a second language po, yung mga nahirapan po makipag-communicate sa like kung yung mga ibang di marunong isang language lang yung alam nila, so parang nafe-feel nila na left out sila. Then third is separated family. Yan naman po yung mga family problem po na nagli-lead po to the student po to skip classes po. And then inner city, high mobility and transience. Student who move school often have trouble keeping up with lessons. Yan po yung mga tao na palipat-lipat po ng school. Then second po is educational problem. These are issues that affect students' performance and behavior in school. Example po is yung mga nakakakuha ng low grades and achievement po. Parang yan po yung mga nahirapan po mag-intindi and mag-catch up nga po sa lesson. So, na-fulfill sila. So, next is low motivation and poor attendance. Yan naman po yung mga like nawawalan sila ng interest po sa pag-aaral. So, mas gusto nilang mag-skip na lang sa classes. So, next is high dropout or suspension rate. They may give up on school due to repeated failures or discipline problem. Yan po yung like paulit-ulit pong nababagsak. So, parang nawawalan sila ng gana. Then, a low self-esteem and test score. They might believe they are not smart enough and stop trying. Yan naman po yung parang nawawala na sila ng gana dahil po parang kahit mag-study sila buong araw din, tapos yung result po ng exam nila is mababa din. Parang baba din kasi yun siya ng confident and like parang something like feel mo, hindi ko talaga kaya, ganun. And then next is less involvement. They avoid extracurricular activity in school event, feeling disconnected. Then, nandito na tayo sa effective interaction for student. To help a student and all learners succeed, teacher can use effective teaching strategy that build confidence, understanding, and motivation. So, first is greater structure and support. Teacher should explain lesson, assignment, and grading rules, so para malaman ng estudyante kung paano, kung alam ng estudyante kung ano yung expect nila. Like for example po is bigyan sila ng clear schedule, checklist, help students stay organized and motivated po. Next is active teaching. Yan po, dapat po yung teacher is like ginagawa nilang interesting and interactive yung lesson nila. Like for example is using games,
So the next slide is the table show the characterize of effect the instruction. So ibig sabihin, ito yung mga paraan na pagtuturo na proven and nakakatulong na para mas matuto ang students. So each characterize mas specific or description kung paano nila ginagawa sa classroom. So number 1 is a greater structure and support. So dito is ibig sabihin nito is dapat malinaw ang expectation sa students. Kailangan maayos na nakalagay kung ano yung mga assignments and grading system at goals. Kapag klaro yung instruction, mas mamomotivate ang student kasi alam nila kung ano ang ginagawa nila para maging success. So, next is, number 2 is active teaching. So, active teaching is, ito yung, ang teacher is active. So, dapat involved dito yung pagiging active nila sa pagtuturo. Hindi lang umaasa sa libro or workbook na gumagamit siya ng tulad ng interactive teaching, halimbawa discuss, demonstration or activities na mas ma-encourage sila na mas madaling matuto ang mga students kapag personal na relatable ang pag-explain ng teacher. So, number 2 is interaction, emphasizing student active participation. So, dito is nakafocus ito sa mga active involved ng student sa lesson or gumagamit ang teacher na maaaring question lalo na sa open-ended na question. So, para magkaroon ng chance ang mga student na mag-explain at mag-share. So, ito yung nagpo-promote ng critical thinking ng confidence nila kapag nagsasagot. So, next is number 4. So, more frequent feedback. So, dito is important ang pag-progress ng student ay madalas na-monitor dito. So, pumapasok na dito yung mga quizzes, assignment, at teacher feedback. So, kapag mabilis ang regular ang feedback is alam agad ng student saan sila nag-excel. So, ano yung mga kailangan nila i-improve. So, next is, number 5 is, smaller step when more practice. So, dito is, ibig sabihin, ang lesson ay, hinahati sa mas maliit na step para mas madaling maintindihan. Dapat, mag-practice muna ang student sa isang step bago lumipat sa next. Kasi ang constant review or previous lesson is tumutulong para maiwasan ang paggalito at tumibay yung foundation nila. So number 6 is higher success rate. So dito is ang goal is bigyan ng student ng maraming opportunity to success kasi kapag ang classroom question, quizzes at assignment ay dapat design in a way na kaya nilang ma-achieve. Kapag mas madalas silang magdagumpay, mas tumataas yung confidence nila at namomotivate yung pag-aaral nila. Learning needs based on the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So, number 1 is deficiency needs. So, ito yung dapat na matutunan ng basic needs ng tao or student must be met the first before they can focus on the learning and personal growth. So, when these needs are not met, so student become the distract and least the motivate to learn na hindi sila nakakapag-focus sa study nila. So next is survival needs. So survival needs is ito naman is na-include dito yung assistance like foods, water, and shelter and warm. Kasi if students are hungry or tired or unwell, we find too hard the concentrate the perform will in a school. Kasi pwede naman makakain or makakabili kapag nafe-feel nila na nagugutom sila. May mapagkukunan sila like yung canteen natin sa school. So safety needs. So safety needs is ito naman yung means dito is feeling na safe from harm, both physical and emotional. So dahil when a student feels secure in their environment, free from bullying, fear or danger, they are more comfortable and open to learning, and malalabas nila yung mga happiness nila, yung confidence nila, kasi walang namubuli sa kanila. Kumbaga, free sila sa lahat ng ginagawa nila without bullying. So, next is belonging needs. So, as a student or learner needs is ma-feel yung accept kung ano man yung kaya natin. Also, need din natin yung love and support by family and friends and classmates as a strong sense of the belonging builds. So confidence and motivation will loneliness and rejection can affect the negative kung may mga problema man or kung may mga pinagdadaanan man sila, at least may masasabihan sila ng mga nararamdaman nila. So number two is grow needs. So grow needs is ito yung needs come after the basic ones meet. So they help the student grow as individuals to continue to develop their potential or motivate them para mas mag-grow sila, and i-guide din sila sa mga lahat ng ginagawa nila. So self-esteem needs. So as a student, need natin ma-feel yung value, respect, and recognize na yung ma-feel ng bawat student na walang maging favoritism, kasi unfair naman sa ibang student na dapat binibigyan sila ng positive feedback. Kasi dapat encourage din na help build their confidence and motivate them do better and lahat ng ginagawa nila. So next is intellectual achievement. So intellectual achievement is this refers to the desire to the understand new things and again to the knowledge. So when learners are curious and enjoy the learnings, are the motivated to explore, ask the question, and seek the environment para mas maging grow or mag-function sa utak nila or mag-seek in yung mga knowledge na tinuturo sa kanila. So next is inflection of the hierarchy of the needs education. So impoverish the student to struggle and learn to the effectively. So dito is when their basic needs like food, rest, and shelter are not means. So dito is dala yung teacher must be aware this and provide to support the accommodation possible. So next is a lack of the safety of the security. So whether emotional or physical, physical can lower as a student perform self-support in the classroom. So environment help the student to confident and ready to learn, and ma-encourage sila na ilabas yung mga confidence para mas marami silang ma-learn or ma-knowledge or ma-feel yung mga pinag-aaralan nila. And also, ma-feel din nila yung belong sila sa ibang student. So, next is grow needs motivate learning. So, dito is when student experience recognize and intellectual curiously, their motivation to learn increase na mas ginagandahan ng student na mag-aral kung may mga pinaghirapan nila, kung may mga pinaghirapan sila na dapat bubunga din yun ng maayos at makikita nila yung mga effort nila na magiging success. So, next is through motivation learning. So, happens when student to see how the lesson connect to their personal goals or real life needs than learning or grades or rewards.
Hello ma'am, my name is Saima Osman and my topic is other learnings. So first is the need for competence or competence motivation. So ito yung kailangan ng isang tao na kahit hindi niya pa nasusubukan, sasabihin niya na kaya ko to or kakayanin ko to. So letter A is innate need. So ang ibig sabihin nito, kahit nung mga bata pa tayo is gusto na natin matutong gumawa ng mga bagay. Halimbawa, tuwing may bago tayong laruan or gadget, gusto nating malaman paano to gamitin, and yun, natural sa atin yung gusto nating maging magaling. So, letter V is creates drive to master skills. So, kapag may hindi tayo na-solve or kapag pag meron tayong hindi alam, for example, sa subject na math is, letter B is creates drive to master skills. So, kapag, for example, may hindi tayo alam na or may hindi tayo naiintindihan na subject, for example sa math, minsan hindi tayo mapakali hanggat hindi natin naiintindihan yun, and yung meron tayong mindset na practice pa ako, ayoko mangopya, gusto ko ako mismo yung may alam, ako mismo yung makakasagot. So yun, letter C is importance of fast changing world. So, kung lagi kang willing matuto is hindi ka mapag-iiwanan ng panahon. For example, nag-evolve na lahat ng online learning, pero dahil marunong kang mag-adjust, mas naging madali yun para sa'yo. Sa madaling salita is, gusto natin maging capable hindi lang para pumasa, kundi para may self-confidence and hindi tayo mapag-iwanan ng panahon. So, number 2 is need for control and self-determination. Ito naman ay tungkol sa freedom at sense of responsibility natin. Yung feeling na ikaw or tayo ang may control sa buhay natin at sa kung paano tayo matututo. So, letter A is man as a steward of God creations. So, sa totoong buhay, binigyan tayo ni Allah or ni God ng choices paano maging mabait, responsable, maayos yung mga ginagawa, and also hindi tayo robot na tayo nagde-decide kung ano yung gagawin nating tama or tama ba to or hindi yung ginagawa natin. So, letter V is striving for autonomy. So, ito yung ayaw natin na meron nagdidikta, lagi may nagdidikta sa atin. Gusto lang natin maramdaman na kaya nating tumayo sa sarili nating paa. For example, mas masarap sa pakiramdam nyo. Mas gusto natin na tayo mismo yung gumagawa ng project natin. Hindi yung puro pagawa lang or copy-paste lang sa AI. So, letter C is teachers can support this through student participation. So, mas nararamdaman ng isang estudyante na supportive ka or hindi sila kinokontrol kapag pinapakinggan ang kanilang suggestion. Pwede silang magbigay ng opinions and hindi sila pinipigilan na magsalita or magtanong. So, number 3 is need to achieve. So, ito yung motivation na mag-excel, ma-feel ang success at maipagmalaki ang achievement. So, letter A is achievement. Motivation pushes you to excel. For example, may project ka. So, hindi ka content to sa pwede na to. Ito na. Gusto mo best yung output mo. Gusto mo mataas yung grade na makuha mo and ma-proud yung teacher sa'yo and ma-proud ka mismo sa sarili mo. So, letter B is balance by fear of failure. So, kahit gusto mo magtagumpay, ito yung gusto mo magtagumpay pero may halo pa rin ka ba sa loob mo. Minsan iniisip mo na, paano pag nagkamali ako? Paano pag mababa yung score ko? So, letter C is student avoiding failure, choose easy task. So, yung iba ayaw sumali sa contest or presentation kasi takot silang mapahiya or takot silang pagtawanan kasi mali yung sagot nila. Kaya, mas gusto nila yung kaya nilang gawin or mas sigurado silang kaya nilang gawin. So, letter D is high achievers love challenges. Ito yung mga estudyante na hindi natatakot sa mahirap na mga tanong or projects. Kapag sinabi ni teacher na optional lang to pero mahirap. Pero sila yung nagvo-volunteer and nagpapa-grade fairly kahit strict kasi gusto nila yung honest and ma-measure yung ability nila. So, letter E is students who wants safety choose simple task. So, ito naman yung mga student na 75 okay na basta pasado and ayaw nila ma-pressure kaya mas gusto nila yung task that don't risk embarrassment failure. So, yun lang po.
So, good day everyone. I am Riman Muhammad Rangit Tucci and I will be discussing the Unit 10, which is the motivation learning. So, motivation is the inner push that makes a person want to do something or reach a goal. It helps someone to focus and to try their best. Also, kapag motivated yung isang tao, mas nakaka-interest sila and willing sila na gawin yung isang bagay. So, according to Basta-Bell 2004, motivation affects how a person behaves. So, this means students learn better when they feel motivated. So, also, ang motivation is a way for teacher to encourage students. Teacher can use techniques, praise, fun activities, or challenges to make students want to learn. So, the Dictionary of Education 2004 says motivations includes using different tools or ideas to make students want to do well or improve. Also, in the classroom, motivation simply means the activities and techniques a teacher uses to make learning more active and exciting. So, when students are motivated, they participate more, understand better, and enjoy learning.
So next one is purpose of motivation. So when we say purpose of motivation is ito yung to do something and keep going until a goal is achieved. So ito yung reason bakit gusto natin ma-achieve yung goal natin because we are motivated. May motivation tayo kasi gusto natin ma-achieve yung goal natin. Like for example, ako, gusto ko maging RM. So, para ma-achieve ko yung goal ko na yun, kailangan kong pagsikapan, kailangan kong mag-aral pa ng mabuti para ma-achieve ko yung pagiging RM ko na yun, para magiging registered midwife ako. Okay, and also, si teacher naman yung magiging motivation ng mga bata. Like, parang encourage niya yung mga bata na, okay class, kailangan yung mag-study ng mabuti para makakuha kayo ng high grade at para hindi kayo mabagsak. So, si teacher yung way kung bakit namomotivate yung bata na mag-aral ng mabuti para sa magiging future nila at para din sa kanila. And also, si student, gagawin niya yung gusto niyang ma-achieve. Like, hindi niya na kailangan pilitin yung sarili niya na, okay, gawin ko to. Siya na yung mismong gagawa na, okay, gagawin ko to para to sa akin, para ito sa high grade ko. Kasi kapag ang student, and also here, dahil sa motivate na si student naman is, gagawin niya na yung kung ano yung tama. Like parang, okay, gagawin ko to para ma-achieve ko yung goal ko. Hindi niya na kailangan pilitin yung sarili niya. Hindi niya na kailangan maging tamad. Kasi, para sa kanya, gagawin ko to para sa akin. Para maging proud ang mga parents ko para sa akin. So, yun yung nasa thinking ng isang estudyante. Dito naman is, and also, binibigyan din tayo ng inspiration and encouragement para ma-achieve. And also, binibigyan din tayo ng inspiration and encouragement para ma-achieve natin yung goal natin.
Types of motivation. So, number 1 is itong intrinsic motivation. So, ang intrinsic motivation from within the learners. So, a person studies, practice, or works because they genuinely want to learn or nakikita nila doon sa ginagawa nila is meaningful. So, they are motivated by personal satisfaction, not by rewards or pressure sa ibang tao. So, it is driven by internal factors rather, such as the heredity. So, heredity is ito ng natural talents or traits na na-influence sa one desire to improve. Intellectual abilities naman is ito ng curiosity and desire na ginagamit and ma-develop yung kanilang pag-iisip. So, instinctual drive naman is yung natural desire na ma-explore, ma-improve, or ma-understand yung isang bagay. So, personal philosophy, vision, and mission naman is ito yung one's values, goals, and purpose in life. Desire for recognition naman is ito na yung gusto nila ma-acknowledge in a meaningful and positive way. So, desire to serve others, ito naman yung gusto nila na makatulong, makasupport, or gumawa ng difference in people's lives. So, number 2 naman is itong extrinsic motivation. So, ang intrinsic motivation is ito naman yung outside the learner. So, a person studies or works because they want to receive a reward or avoid a punishment. Their motivation depends on external factors, not on personal interest naman. Ito naman is ito na yung mga tao na ginagawa nila yung bagay nila na may kapalit, parang ganon. So, ito naman is meron ditong rewards or like, yung rewards na yun, ito yung high grades or yung mga grades natin sa school. So, money, of course, ito na yung mga sahod, ito yung mga ginagawa ng trabaho na magtatrabaho ka para sa pera. So, praise, ito naman yung praise is, ito na yung gusto nila makatanggap ng praise. Like, for example, is, ang galing-galing mo, ang talino mo, ganyan. Certificates and promotion. So, punishments. So, low grades, like ganyan, yung mga tao na natatakot sila na makakuha ng mga low grades kasi mapapagalitan sila ng magulang nila o yung nagpapaaral sa kanila. Criticism, disciplinary action, and withheld privileges.
So the next one is Maslow theory or Maslow theory of motivation in needs, which is the theory of Abraham Maslow 1943, and explain niya doon kung paano naapektuhan ng needs natin yung motivation natin. Like sabi niya din dito is that before natin ma-reach yung highest level, which is the self-actualization, is that kailangan muna natin ma-meet yung lowest level niya, which is the psychological needs. So first is psychological needs is also known as basic needs. Ito naman yung mga basic things na kailangan natin para mabuhay. For example is food, air, sleep, water, clothes, and shelter. Pag may hindi tayo na-meet dito na kahit isa lang, is hindi tayo makakapag-concentrate sa klase or sa trabaho. For example, is pag pumasok yung estudyante na walang kain, kulang sa tulog, is that hindi siya makakapag-concentrate sa klase. Next is safety needs or security and protection. Of course, after natin ma-meet yung basic needs, is kailangan din natin ma-feel na safe tayo and secure tayo from danger and sickness. Like, kasali dito yung physical safety, which is being safe from accident and illness, and emotional safety, which is feeling secure and not scared. For example, is ang role ng teacher is para maging malinis yung classroom, para maging safe yung mga estudyante na walang like for example, may basag na bote. Kailangan linisin yun para walang masugatan, para ma-feel ng estudyante na secure, safe sila from danger ka, para walang masugatan. Next is social needs or love and belongings. Ito naman is, of course, kailangan natin ma-feel na love tayo, accepted tayo, and connected tayo with others. Like for example, is, di ba pag may problema tayo, is kailangan tumatawag tayo agad sa friend or parents natin kasi feel natin maiintindihan nila yung mga nararamdaman natin. Yun. So, next is team needs, respect and confidence. Of course, this level naman is, dito naman yung tungkol sa self-respect and respect from others din. Of course, pag na-meet natin ito or na-respect tayo ng other, is that na we feel confident, motivated, and valued. Of course, for example, dito is pag na-recognize tayo, pag na-appreciate tayo, or like na-praise tayo na kahit simpleng bagay lang as a student or kahit ano. Next is self-actualization, which is the reaching full potential, which is ito yung highest level. Dito naman is pag na-reach na nung taong yun yung goals nila and purpose nila sa life. Like, ito naman yung parang gusto na nila yung maging best version ng sarili nila. And ginayos nila yung mga talent nila. Ay, dito din nila parang pag na-achieve na nila yung dream nila, pag naging leader sila, or like pag doing something good na para maka-help sa others. And also ginayos din na dito yung mga talent nila, creativity, para maka-help sa others. So next is role of teaching education. Ito naman is number A, of course, para matulungan yung estudyante na like maging totoo sa sarili nila, at saka parang makinig sila sa sarili nilang nararamdaman. Next is para turuan sila na paano sila maging open-minded and paano sila mag-accept ng other people. C is that para mag-guide sila sa career and goals na babagay sa kanila. D is para ma-help sila para makita yung good things in life kahit maraming struggle and challenges. E is para ma-accept nila kung sino sila kahit may marami silang kahinaan or marami silang kalakasan. Then, F is para, of course, para ma-make sure na yung basic and emotional needs nila is ma-meet. That's all. Thank you.
Letter G. This means helping students become more aware sa positive things around them. So by appreciating nature, yung mga art, and yung pagiging mabait or kindness din ng mga tao and moments of peace. They learn to be more mindful, grateful, and emotionally healthy, and nakaka-reduce din to ng stress and nakaka-encourage din na balance, meaningful life. So letter H naman is ito yung self-regulation, means yung being able to control your action, emotion, and decision. And ito, tinuturuan din dito yung mga students na ma-manage yung kanilang impulses or yung kanilang emotion, na mi-maintain yung pagiging discipline, and na-avoid ang harmful behaviors, and also nakaka-make ng responsible choices. So, without self-control naman is yung mga tao is may tend na magawa sila na complete abandonment, which is can be negative effects sa kanilang health. And with self-regulation naman is nakaka-improve sa kanilang overall quality of life. So letter I naman, letter I is ito, it means a student should be thoughtful, not only practical skill but also sa deeper thinking or mas malalim na pag-iisip. Look beyond sa surface level ng issues, ina-understand yung meaning and causes ng major life problems, and also nagfe-face din siya ng difficult realities such as yung unfairness, suffering, and death. Ito nakaka-build ito ng emotional strength, critical thinking, and moral understanding, important qualities para sa future professional and also compassionate individuals. So letter J. Ang letter J naman is yung student is natututunan nila na mag-practice ng best nila, na hindi lang sa pakikinig but also giving them scenarios na nakaka-stimulate sa isang situation, like in a clinical lab. So they can analyze problems, think critically, and make safe, ethical decision na nakaka-develop to ng confidence and competence in decision making.
Psychosocial needs are fundamental drivers that come from a learner's role in social settings. Learning is strengthened when students feel connected to a group. These needs include the following specific factors. Letter A, security. A student's feeling of being safe and protected. It lets them focus on learning without fear of harm or judgment. Letter B, anxiety. Feelings of concern or worry about learning-related challenges like exam or assignments. Excess anxiety can hinder concentration and performance. Next, letter C, frustration. This sense of being blocked from reaching learning goals caused by obstacles like difficult material or lack of sources. Next, letter D, independence. The need for self-sufficiency and autonomy in learning. It builds self-reliance and critical thinking. Letter E, actualization. The fulfillment of one's personal potential in learning driven by a desire for growth and purpose. Letter F, assertion. The ability to express thoughts, opinions, and feelings respectfully. It supports effective communication and collaboration. Letter G, achievement. The need to attain meaningful goals which vary by group. It boosts self-esteem and motivates continued effort. Next is letter H, recognition. Acknowledgement of one's achievements by others. It validates efforts and enhances confidence. So the last one is, no, not the last one. And the next is letter I, participation, sharing experience and activities with peers. It fosters a sense of belonging and enriches learning through diverse interaction.
Okay, so next one is interest. So, when we say interest, ito yung kung ano yung gusto mo. Like, interesado ka sa gusto mo. And also, connect din ito siya sa attitude, but they are not exactly the same. Ang interest kasi is physical connection siya, while the attitude is not. Like, ang interest kasi is related siya sa kung ano yung gusto mo. So, next one is religious need. So, when we say religious need, ito naman yung connection with God. Ito naman yung pag-pray natin ng guidance, ng blessing, and ng pag-pray natin ng mga kailangan natin kay God. So, ito yung religious needs.
Good morning, I am Pashmina K. Giamblang. So, my topic is about incentives. So, when we say incentives are ways to encourage and motivate students to learn and achieve their goals. So, the example of incentives is the praise and reproof. So, the praise and reproof is yan yung sasabihan mo yung mga estudyante ng very good, good job, and etc. So, and second is the competition. So, pag sabi naman natin competition is merong 3 types. The group competition, individual competition, and the self-competition. The third naman is the knowledge of progress. So, the knowledge of progress is the student should know how they're doing. So, the example is the self-evaluation, assignments and the test examination, and the conferences with teacher. And the school marks naman is pag tumaas yung grades ng students is mas lalo silang magi-encourage, mas lalo silang mamomotivate. And exhibiting good works and yun na nga, when students know their best work will be showcased and they tend to do better. Isa rin sa kasali sa mga incentives is ang examination. So, ang examination is the prospect of taking an examination can motivate students to prepare and review their lesson. So, number 7 is the Dean List. So, being included in Dean List is recognitions of a student's hard work and academic excellence. Number 8 naman is emulation. Ang emulation is parang pampagana. So, gaganahan ng student pag follow nila ang someone they admire or respect. This can encourage students to strive excellence without hurting or degrading others.
My name is Saima Usman and my topic is importance of motivation in learning. So motivation is one of the key factors that influence how well student learns. So why motivation is important in learning? Number 1 is to stimulate and facilitate learning activity. Kung ibig sabihin, ang motivation ang dito nagsisimula or ito yung nagpo-push sa isang estudyante para makapag-aral. And number 2 is learning is an active process and students need to be motivated and guided toward desirable ends. So, dahil ang pag-learn ng ang pag-learn is or ang pag-aaral is nangangailangan ng effort, kailangan ma-motivate yung isang or ma-guide ang isang estudyante para maabot niya yung gusto niya. So, number 3 is learning is self-initiated but it must be aided by motives or incentives. So, the learner will persist in the learning activity. So, while students can start learning in their own, they still need motives such as rewards, interest, and or personal goals to continue and not give up. So number 4 is a definite motive or incentive is valuable in all activities as motives and incentives will prepare the student to learn. So kapag malinaw yung dahilan o incentive ng isang estudyante is handa silang matuto and mas magiging willing silang makibahagi sa kahit anong learning task. So number 5 is the greater the readiness to learn, the greater attention will be given to work on hand and the sooner the desired result will be achieved. So kapag kapag handa yung estudyante, mas focus sila at dahil dito, mas mabilis nilang naaabot yung learning goals nila. So number 6, it is important to get the learner into a state of readiness to learn, for it increases alertness, vigor, and wholeheartedness. So mahalaga ang pagiging readiness ng isang estudyante dahil pinapataas nito ang pagiging alert mo, ang energy mo, and yun lang. So number 7 is motivation helps the learner achieve goals, and understanding motivation is important because number 1 is motivation determines the intensity and extent effort. So kapag motivated yung isang estudyante, mas malaki ang effort at mas matagal silang or mas gusto nilang mag-aral. So number 2 is motivation helps learners concentrate on what they are doing, giving them satisfaction. So mas nakaka-focus yung learners at mas nagiging happy sila sa ginagawa nila. So last is continuous motivation helps learners stay focused on the lessons. So, pag tuloy-tuloy yung motivation is nakakatulong ito para mapiling attentive at hindi madaling ma-distract yung isang learners. So, yun lang po. Thank you.
So, the next slide is assessing the motivation among learners. So, dito means ini-evaluate mo kung ano yung pagiging drives ng student to learn and how to willing to ready they are engaged to the learning to process. And that involves to understand their interests and attitude, past learnings, experience, readiness to learn, and available to support or resources and emotional factors like anxiety. So number one is previous learnings experience. So dito is learners past experience play a big role how to motivate they are today. So dahil when students are had to positive experience like grades na helpful, teacher to enjoyable the classes, so they to feel na more nako-confidence and mas nagiging excited sila to learn on other hand, kung negative ang experience naman such as failure of the lack of the support, so can make them lose interest to feel na anxious sila about learning. So number two is professional attitude. Professional attitude believes how to learning. So dito is every student has different reason and beliefs so about with their learning. Or for example, in a midwifery nursing, some students are motivated because they truly wants to help to other or care to a patient. Well, yung iba naman is may nakapokus sila sa build stable to career. So this personal attitude to shape how to effort or interest sila to learning to put to their student na na-enjoy nila yung ginagawa nila. So number 3 is readiness to learn. So ito naman is ito yung nare-refresh yung paano nila piniprepare yung kung willing yung mga student para matuto yung mga new things or new knowledge person. So readiness depends on their interest in a subject and what happens in their life, such family responsibility or work. Kasi when learners are interested and have a fever to distraction is they are usually namomotivate and nare-ready sila sa pag-study nila. Mas binibigyan nila ng pansin yung pag-study nila. So number 4 is ability of the resource of the support learning. So dito naman is namomotivate can also depends the resource na available ang student having access to libraries or laboratories or computers. Kasi kapag may mga ganyan sa school is nagiging active sila to learn and how to emotional or financially support can make learning easy or more enjoyable. So without resources, a student might feel discouraged to or limited their ability to learn the effectivity. So number 5 is level of anxiety. So ito is affect to how the student perform and feel about learning. A little bit the anxiety can be helpful because napupus ng student to prepare the focus na study nila. So whoever na too much anxiety can cause the stress, fear or failure can also the motivation. So it's important to maintain a balance and learners to feel the engines but not overwhelmed kasi minsan kapag yung anxiety is sumusobra, maaari silang magkaroon ng stress.